All right, so get this. We're diving into the world of database integration today.
Yeah.
We're talking about the people who they make sure that data can flow smoothly between different systems.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Businesses are collecting tons of data from everywhere, websites, apps, you name it. But it's useless if it's all stuck in its own little world, right?
Yeah, it'd be like, imagine a library with no Dewey Decimal System, no organization, just chaos.
Exactly. And that's where database integrators step in.
They're like the bridge builders, making sure all that data can actually talk and work together.
So they're creating like a unified view of all that information.
Yeah, which is crucial for pretty much everything these days, from giving customers a personalized experience to businesses making smart decisions.
So give me an example.
All right, imagine an online store trying to figure out why people buy what they buy.
Okay.
They need to connect data from your shopping cart, what you browsed, maybe even your social media. It all paints a picture.
That makes sense, but how do they actually do that? We've got all this info from RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah.
So let's dive into what a database integrator actually does all day.
Well, a big part of it is designing and actually implementing solutions to connect all those different databases.
Huh, like what?
It's almost like building a network of like highways, but for data, you know?
And they've got to make sure those highways can handle all that data traffic.
Exactly, and that it's flowing smoothly.
I bet troubleshooting is a huge part of the job then.
Oh, absolutely. It's not always smooth sailing. Data can be messy. Systems might have different formats. Things break. You name it.
So they're like data detectives, figuring out why things aren't working.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They need to identify the issues and then come up with elegant solutions, often under pressure.
It's not just about knowing the technical stuff, it's about problem solving and thinking logically.
You got it.
The RoleCatcher guide even mentioned a project where a database integrator had to move data from an old system to a cloud-based one. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, migrations are a whole other beast. It's like speaking two different languages at the same time
Yeah.
and trying to translate.
Man, that sounds like a puzzle I wouldn't want to touch.
It can be a real challenge.
But I bet it's super rewarding when it all comes together.
For sure. For those who love that kind of challenge, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, no kidding. So they really do need to be problem solvers just as much as tech savvy.
Yeah, 100%. You can't just be good with computers. Got to use your head.
So, like, what kind of skills are we talking about here? RoleCatcher mentions SQL a lot. That seems important.
It's kind of like their go-to language for talking to databases, like the foundation.
Makes sense, but they work with more than just SQL, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They need to know about all sorts of database management systems, Oracle, MySQL, you name it.
Each one is different?
Each one's got its quirks, its own little personality, so you got to be adaptable.
Okay, so it's like being fluent in, like, different dialects of data or something.
Exactly.
And then there's this whole ETL thing, extract, transform, load. It sounds intense.
That's where the problem solving really comes in. You're taking data from all over the place, cleaning it up, making it actually usable.
Whoa, how do you even start with that?
Think of it like you got puzzle pieces from a dozen different puzzles all mixed up.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
You got to sort through them, clean them up, figure out which ones go together, then actually build the picture.
Man, that takes some serious attention to detail. You can't miss anything.
Right, one little mistake in that ETL process can mess everything up downstream.
High stakes.
So yeah, testing, validating, every step of the way, got to be thorough.
So we've got the technical stuff, the puzzle solving, but RoleCatcher also stresses communication skills. Why is that?
Because, think about it, you're often the bridge between the techies and, well, everyone else.
Ah, right, different languages again.
Exactly. You got to explain complex stuff in plain English, make sure everyone's on the same page.
Diplomacy, but for data.
Pretty much. And then there's adaptability. This tech world moves fast. New tools pop up all the time.
Always got to be learning.
Lifelong learner, for sure. Got to be open to new challenges, new ways of doing things.
Sounds exciting, never a dull moment.
Exactly. Always something new to learn.
And with that, how does a database integrator actually climb the career ladder? RoleCatcher lays out a path from associate all the way up to, get this, principal database integrator.
That's the dream, right?
Starting as a data apprentice, ending as the maestro. What does that look like year to year?
So early on, you're supporting the senior folks, learning the ropes. But as you gain experience, you get more responsibility, leadership.
So you might start by helping out, but eventually you're leading the whole project.
Exactly. And then, mentoring the new recruits, maybe even shaping how your company thinks about data integration.
Wow, that's a lot of influence.
And RoleCatcher, they've got these example profiles. It's really cool. You can see what a real career might look like.
Oh yeah, I saw those, like peeking into someone else's career path.
They show you what skills matter at each level. like that example senior integrator.
What do they do?
They didn't just implement solutions, they designed them, complex ones. They were the go-to problem solver.
So they earn their stripes.
Exactly. And then you've got the principal integrator. That's like the data visionary,
They see the big picture.
not just solving today's problems, but looking ahead, seeing the challenges coming down the line and how data plays into everything.
They're like the architect of the whole data landscape.
And they need to stay updated, research new tech, make sure their company's doing things the best way possible.
Demanding, but also super influential.
For sure, you get to shape how your whole company uses data.
And how do you even get to that level? Is it all just skills, experience?
It's a big part, but networking matters too. Meeting people, learning from others. Certifications help a lot too.
Certifications like what?
The Oracle Certified Professional, that's a big one. Or the Microsoft one for Azure databases. Shows you're serious.
Proof you know your stuff.
Exactly. Employers see that and they know you've put in the work, you're committed.
Speaking of which, landing the job, RoleCatcher has this whole interview guide, and some of those questions are tough.
Oh, for sure, they don't mess around.
They really make you think, not just reciting definitions.
They cut right to the chase, like, walk me through how you'd integrate these databases. You gotta know your stuff.
And they're not afraid to ask about your failures, which everyone's got them.
Oh yeah, there's that one question. Toughest integration project you've faced. How'd you handle it?
Love that. Shows how you deal with pressure, how you think on your feet.
Exactly. Anyone can follow a plan when it's easy. Employers want to see what you do when things go sideways.
Speaking of help, RoleCatcher has those AI tools. Those seem super useful for this kind of job hunt.
Oh, game changers for sure. It's like having a whole team backing you up.
Tell me more about that RoleCatcher capture thing. The plugin, how does that even work?
Oh, it's brilliant. You ever applying for jobs? You got to keep track of everything. It's a mess.
The worst.
This plugin, you see a job, any job board, boom, save it right to your RoleCatcher
With
account.
no more spreadsheets?
Gone. It's all there, organized, helps you track your applications. And get this, the AI, it actually suggests jobs you might be a good fit for.
So it's like having a personal recruiter scanning the internet for you 24/7.
Pretty much. Saves you so much time and energy, you can focus on prepping for those tough interviews.
This has been eye-opening. We've covered so much about database integration, what they do, the skills, the whole 9 yards.
It's a fascinating field, always evolving.
One last thing's been on my mind, though. We talked about AI changing the job market.
Right, it's a big topic.
Even some of this database integration stuff might get automated. What happens to the humans then?
It's a valid concern, but honestly, I see it more as an opportunity. AI takes the boring stuff.
Makes sense. Let the robots do the grunt work.
Exactly. That frees up database integrators to focus on the really complex stuff, the creative solutions, the strategy.
So it's less about being replaced, more like AI becomes your assistant.
Exactly. The best integrators, they'll use AI to their advantage, work smarter, not harder.
So it's still a great career path, just got to stay ahead of the curve.
100%. If you love data, if you're curious, if you like a good challenge, this field's got a bright future.
And that's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of database integration. We'll see you next time.